Hi everyone, this is Mallikarjun, lecturer in mechanical engineering, GMRP Utnur. The topic I am going to discuss in this video session is iron carbon equilibrium diagram. In the previous videos, what we have uh, discussed was the allotropic forms of pure iron and the cooling curve of a pure metal or any pure metal. So we have elaborately discussed these topics in the previous video session. From this previous discussions, we understood that iron has different crystal structures at different temperatures. That is, till 910 degrees centigrade, iron exhibits BCC crystal structure, and from 910 degrees centigrade to 1400 degrees centigrade or 1401 degrees centigrade, it exhibits FCC crystal structure, and above 1400 degrees centigrade again it exhibits BCC crystal structure. So the BCC crystal structure from room temperature to 910 degrees centigrade is called as alpha iron, and from 910 degrees centigrade to 401 degrees centigrade it is called as gamma iron or austenite, and above 1400 degrees centigrade it is called as delta iron, which exhibits BCC crystal structure. So this behavior is called as allotropic character. So it exhibits different crystal structures. So now based on the change in the crystal structure, the carbon diffusion into iron will change with respect to temperature. In BCC structure, the solubility of carbon atoms in iron is different, and the solubility of carbon atoms in gamma iron is different. The solubility of carbon atoms in delta iron is different. So therefore, uh, when the solubility of the carbon atoms changes, the properties of iron changes. So why this iron carbon equilibrium diagram has become inevitable in this particular subject or in this particular topic in this unit is, we already discussed that in the previous video sessions. When carbon is combined with iron, and if the percentage of by weight, if the percentage of carbon is less than 2%, then they are called as steels, and if the percentage of carbon is more than 2%, then they are called as cast irons. So metallurgy, majority of the metallurgy topics majority of the metallurgy is covered only by steels and iron, because industry mostly uses the most abundant metal which is used in any industrial application is steel and cast irons. So therefore, if we can understand the behavior of iron when the solubility of carbon changes, then we can understand the behavior of almost all the ferrous metals. So therefore, 50% of metallurgy is based on is ferrous. So therefore, it has become very important for any mechanical engineering student or a metallurgical engineering student or a mechanical engineer or a metallurgical engineer to understand the behavior of ferrous metals. So to understand the behavior of the ferrous metals, we need to understand the phase diagrams of that metal. So what is the phase diagram? The phase diagram of that steel is the combination of, or cast iron is the combination of iron and carbon. So if we can understand the iron carbon phase diagram, then we can understand the behavior of the metals. So what we already discussed about the phase diagrams. Phase diagrams will make us understand the presence of different phases at different temperatures during the at different composition of the metal. So based on the presence of the phases, the properties of the metal will change. So therefore, iron carbon has gained a lot of significance to understand the behavior of the entire ferrous group metals. So now let us see how the iron carbon equilibrium diagram is constructed. So the equilibrium diagram means there is no change with respect to temperature. There is no change in the chemical composition or the chemic or in chemical balance or in thermodynamic balance or in mechanical way. So now iron carbon equilibrium diagram means the change of the phases or the changes of the phases with respect to the change in the solubility of carbon in iron. So now let us discuss. So equilibrium diagram means there is no change with respect to change in the temperature, but though it is given as equilibrium diagram, that means very minute change is allowed with respect to time. The change in the temperature is allowed with respect to time. So that is how the equilibrium diagram is constructed. So now the part of iron carbon alloy system, that is the diagram between pure iron and interstitial compound, that is iron carbide Fe3C, which is uh, contains around 6.67% by weight, is called iron carbide equilibrium diagram. So it may be noted that though it is called as a equilibrium diagram, it is not a true equilibrium diagram, since equilibrium implies no changes in phase with time. In fact, the compound iron carbide decomposes into iron and carbon. This decomposition takes a very long time at room temperature, and even if it takes several years to form graphite. So that is, Fe3C is an interstitial compound. This compound is not a stable one, so it will decomposes into iron and carbon at around 750 degrees centigrade, and it takes several years to form a graphite, that is carbon. So now the iron carbide is a metastable phase, therefore iron carbide diagram, even though technically represents metastable conditions, can be considered as representing equilibrium changes under conditions of relatively slow heating and cooling. As I discussed, metastable means stable at high energy levels, but every phase wants to get stable at low energy levels. So therefore, metastable phases are never stable because of their high energy levels. So therefore, iron carbon iron carbide will decompose into iron and carbon in the form of graphite. So now the iron carbon diagram shows in the general terms with Greek letters to represent the solid solutions. It is very common practice. For example, the BCC crystal structure from room temperature to 7 910 degrees centigrade, it is called as alpha iron, which is also called as ferrite. That means alpha is a Greek letter, so it is easy to understand the solids, the primary solid solution and the secondary solid solution. So we represent the primary solid solution as alpha and the secondary solid solution as gamma. So we use Greek letters. So in the diagram we have three horizontal lines. If you can see here, the first horizontal line at 723 degrees centigrade, and the second horizontal line is at 1147 degrees centigrade, and the third horizontal line is at 1493 degrees centigrade. These horizontal lines are called as isothermal lines. Isothermal lines are those lines at which an isothermal reaction takes place. Isothermal lines are those lines at which the uh, the change or a chemical reaction takes place at constant temperature is called as isothermal line or isothermal point. The line passing through that point is called as isothermal line, and the point at which the isothermal reaction takes place is called as isothermal point. So now let us see the alloys containing up to 0.1% of carbon start solidification of crystals of delta ferrite. That means I am coming from the top. If you see, I'll try to explain here. We'll go from the bottom of the iron carbon equilibrium diagram. The bottom line here indicates that as the temperature is increasing from the room temperature, the solid solubility of the carbon, all the red lines indicates the solubility of carbon in iron, except the horizontal lines. All the other red lines indicates the solid solubility of carbon in iron. So we only study the solid solubility of the in equilibrium diagram. We only study the phases that appears with respect to temperature as the solid solubility of carbon changes in the iron. This is very simple. Iron carbon equilibrium diagram explains us the presence of various phases present at different temperatures as the solid solubility of carbon changes with respect to temperature. So that is what exactly iron carbon diagram represents. So now let us go how the carbon is getting dissolved in iron with respect to temperature. If you see the bottom of the diagram, we can understand the solid solubility of, now I only say solubility, I don't mention solid, because solubility means it is understood that it is solid solution. Okay, so now if we can see at the room temperature, the solubility of carbon is around 0.0025. That means if you keep the carbon in contact with iron and you leave it, and the diffusion of the carbon in iron will take several years to up uh, to diffuse up to 0.0025% of carbon in iron. But as the temperature, as we increase the temperature of the metal, then the solid solubility or the solubility of the carbon increases from 0.0025 to 0.025 at 723 degrees centigrade. At 723 degrees centigrade, we can also see a horizontal line, the first horizontal line, or we can also call it as an AC1 line, AC1 line, or the first horizontal line, that first isothermal line. So now till 723 degrees centigrade, the solid solubility of carbon is increased as the temperature of the metal increases from room temperature to 723 degrees centigrade. Slowly the solubility of carbon is increased to 0.025% carbon, and further heating, and I'm still further I want to add more and more carbon, so I'm going on increasing the temperature. As the temperature is increased, we can observe that there is a reduction in the solubility of carbon. That is, whatever the solubility, whatever the carbon dissolved in the iron is slowly coming out of iron, till by the time I reaches the temperature to 19 degrees centigrade, whatever carbon present in it has got out of the iron. So that is the point, red line touching the zero line at 910 degrees centigrade. And I further go on increasing up to 1400 degrees centigrade. Then after 1400 degrees centigrade, then again slowly we can observe that the carbon is again getting dissolved in iron slowly till 1493 degrees centigrade up to 0.1%. I repeat, from room temperature to 723 degrees centigrade, slowly the solubility is increased to 0.025%. But after further increasing the temperature from 723 degrees centigrade, and by the time it reaches 910 degrees centigrade, then the solubility has decreased at 910 degrees centigrade. And once the temperature crosses 910 degrees centigrade, there is no solubility of carbon. We cannot observe any solubility of carbon in iron till 1400 degrees centigrade. Once 1400 degrees centigrade is crossed, then again we can observe that the diffusion of carbon into iron is slowly increasing from almost 0 to 0.1% at the temperature 1493 degree centigrade. So that means the carbon diffusion is negligible or totally zero from 910 degrees centigrade to 1400 degrees centigrade, and after 1400 degrees centigrade again slowly the diffusion is increasing from almost negligible to 0.1% at the temperature of 1493 degrees centigrade, as you can see it in the picture. So now again after 1493 degrees centigrade we can observe that again the solubility of the carbon is decreasing to 0 at 1539 degrees centigrade. At 1539 degrees centigrade, the whatever iron we have that gets melts, because the melting point of the iron is 1539 degree centigrade. So that means now let us see, if we have, let us assume if we have carbon percent where an isothermal reaction takes place. The first isothermal reaction that takes place if we come from the top is at 1493 degrees centigrade. So therefore uh, we are going from the bottom. So let us again go from the bottom with another scenario, that is, let us take an example of 0.8% carbon, an alloy. 0.8% carbon iron is nothing but a steel. 0.8% carbon steel is an high carbon steel. So let us take an example of that steel and let us see what happens and what are the phases that are present in it. If you observe here, there is a gap between the vertical line and the red line from the room temperature to 910 degrees centigrade. So that is called as a phase area, and that phase is called as an alpha iron phase, that is ferrite phase. Ferrite is a soft material, and the area between the vertical extreme left vertical line and the red solubility line is called as alpha iron zone or area, and that alpha iron is called as ferrite, and the crystal structure of that ferrite is BCC. So the first phase that we have observed in this area, in in the extreme left part explanation, that is alpha iron. Then the area that what we have entered is called as gamma iron, that is the second phase. And after 1400 degrees centigrade, what we have observed, the area is called as delta iron phase, a delta iron area, and that area is called as delta iron phase. And the crystal structure of this gamma iron is FCC, and it is called as austenite, named after the scientist austenite. So we have come across three phases in this left side area, that is when I am trying to diffuse the carbon, or when I am trying to dissolve carbon into iron from the room temperature. As I am increasing the temperature, the solubility of carbon is slowly increasing from 0.0025 to 0.025 up to 723 degrees centigrade. And again, if I further go on increasing the temperature, it is slowly decreasing, the solubility is slowly decreasing, and it is touching the vertical line to almost zero at 910 degrees centigrade. And at 910 degrees centigrade, so the area between the solubility line and the vertical line is called as alpha iron area, and this alpha iron area is called as ferrite. And this is also called as a soft iron zone, which has BCC crystal structure. And from 910 degrees centigrade to 1400 degrees centigrade, the phase what we have is gamma iron phase, that is also called as austenite, which has FCC crystal structure. And after 1400 degrees centigrade, what we have is delta iron phase, which has again BCC crystal structure up to 1539 degrees centigrade. After 1539 degrees centigrade, the iron gets melted, so therefore there will be no diffusion. There no point in talking about the diffusion of carbon in iron. So this is about the extreme part, left extreme part, and the three phases what we have discussed. Now let us see an example of 0.8%, then we'll come to 0.4% carbon, and we'll try to understand the phases present in it from the bottom, and then we'll come again from the top. Actually, there is so much to explain about the iron carbon diagram, because it is almost the entire subject of ferrous metals. We can understand the entire concepts of ferrous metals only with this iron carbon diagram. We can discuss this iron carbon diagram for 10 to 10, 10 video sessions. Okay, but I am explaining you briefly. So now, if we take 0.8% carbon in the solid state and I am trying to heat it, when I take 0.8% carbon, and I'm slowly heating it. The moment I reach 723 degrees centigrade, the moment I reach 723 degrees centigrade, a new phase is formed, that is austenite, that is gamma. Previously at the room temperature, what is the crystal structure that we have? The crystal structure what we have was alpha iron, that is ferrite. Of course, there are other phases that I will discuss in the upcoming videos sessions, video classes. But for instance, try to understand this much, that it is alpha iron BCC with two phases. One is ferrite uh, and the other one is perlite. At 0.8% we will have 100% perlite. Perlite is nothing but it is a combination of ferrite plus cementite. Cementite is nothing but Fe3C. So it is a lamellar structure of ferrite and cementite, alternate layers of lamellar structure of alternate layers of ferrite and cementite is called as perlite. So 0.8% carbon contains perlite. So now this is BCC at room temperature. Once the steel 0.8% carbon steel is heated above above 723 degrees centigrade, the BCC crystal structure or the perlitic crystal structure gets transformed into austenite at 723 degrees centigrade. And when we are coming from the top, austenite upon cooling will give you ferrite plus cementite. Therefore, one solid on cooling gives two solids is called as eutectoid reaction. When a reaction takes place at constant temperature and when one solid, that is solid 1, gives solid 2 plus solid 3, then that reaction is called as eutectoid reaction. So therefore that reaction is taking place at constant temperature, therefore it is called as isothermal. So the isothermal, the third isothermal, so when we go from the bottom, then it is called as the first isothermal or the first chemical reaction, that is eutectoid reaction. These two solids gives one solid on heating is eutectoid reaction. So now we are going from the bottom, so therefore on heating gives two solids, on heating gives what? One solid is a eutectoid reaction. So now this eutectoid reaction takes place at constant temperature, therefore it is called as isothermal reaction, and this takes place at this reaction is named as eutectoid reaction. So whatever the steels that have less carbon than 0.8% is called as hypoeutectoid steels, and the steels which has more than 0.8% carbon are called as hypereutectoid steels. Okay, so now there is a concept here. Now what is happening to the carbon, where the carbon is going? There are two lines, one line is going to the left and the other line is going to the right. I take 0.8% carbon. Once I reach the eutectoid point, new two lines are formed. One line is going towards the left and joining at 910 degrees centigrade, and one point is going towards the right and joining at the another horizontal line at 1147 degrees centigrade. So what is it? What is exactly happening there? So now let us see. So the left line indicates that it is slowly the carbon is going towards zero. That means the carbon, whatever carbon present in that iron is trying to come out. The left line indicates that whatever carbon present in it is trying to come out, and the right line indicates that the carbon percentage in iron is slowly increasing. That means, and increasing till it touches the second horizontal line at 1147 degrees centigrade. That means there are two concepts behind this. Once if further the steel is heated and then it is slowly decreasing to 0.18% at 1493 degrees centigrade. So here again we have one phase, that is austenite, and once it reaches the third horizontal line at 1493 degrees centigrade, it reaches um, sorry uh, so the right line touches at 1147 degrees centigrade, and again it joins at the third horizontal line, that is third isothermal line at 1493 degrees centigrade. And there, this, if you can observe here, what we, the phase what we have between the vertical horizontal line and the right line, that is going from 0.8 to 0.2% at 1147 degrees centigrade. That means the solubility of carbon is increasing from 0.8% to 2% or 2.14% as the temperature is increased to 1147 degrees centigrade. That means the solubility is increasing. The right line indicates the solubility is increasing. And once it crosses the 1147 degrees centigrade, it indicates again there is a decrease or the decline in the solubility of carbon until it reaches 1493 degrees centigrade, where the third isothermal line or the horizontal line is touched. So 0.8% carbon, if we take the solubility, the left line indicates the solubility of the carbon is reducing at 910 degrees centigrade to almost zero, and the right solubility line, red line, indicates the increase in the solubility of carbon up to 2.14% at 1147 degrees centigrade. And upon further heating, the temperature is the solubility of carbon is decreased to 0.18% at 1493 degrees centigrade. And there again pertectic reaction is taking place. Pertectic reaction is nothing but upon heating, one solid gives one liquid plus another solid, that is liquid plus delta iron in the region is pertectic reaction. In this pertectic reaction, there are three horizontal lines. The first horizontal line what we have discussed was eutectoid reaction, and the middle horizontal line is eutectic isothermal line. Eutectic reaction takes place, that is two solids on heating gives one liquid is eutectic reaction, or one liquid on cooling gives two solids is called as eutectic reaction. One solid on cooling gives two solids are eutectoid reaction, and one liquid on cooling gives two solids, that is solid 1 plus solid 2 are is called as a eutectic reaction. Whereas one liquid plus one solid on cooling gives one new solid is called as pertectic reaction. So there are three reactions takes place in iron carbon equilibrium, iron carbide equilibrium diagram. The first, when we go from the bottom, the first equilibrium, the first horizontal line represents the first isothermal reaction that takes place at 723 degrees centigrade. That is one solid, that is austenite, on cooling gives two solids, that is ferrite plus perlite, is called as eutectoid reaction. And the second at 723 degrees centigrade, and the second reaction is eutectic reaction, uh, that is one liquid on cooling gives two solids, that is leadburite plus cementite, is called as eutectic reaction. And one liquid plus one solid, that is molten iron plus delta iron on cooling gives austenite, that is gamma iron, is called as pertectic reaction. So this is let me wind up this topic with this video session, this portion. This is not the entire explanation of the iron carbide diagram. So the other portion of the explanation of the other portion of the equilibrium diagram will be discussed in the next video. I hope you understood the reactions about the three horizontal lines, and I hope you understood the solubility of carbon. how the solubility of the carbon is increasing with the increase in the temperature, and how it is again decreasing. And we have identified three phases, that is the alpha iron phase. We have identified alpha iron phase is present at the left end, bottom left end portion, is alpha iron, that is BCC crystal structure, is called as ferrite, and it is very soft material, ductile material. And after that, the next phase what we have entered was gamma iron, that is called as austenite. Austenite is more ductile than ferrite. And then the next phase what we have discussed is delta iron phase from 1400 degrees centigrade to 1539 degrees centigrade. So we have discussed about the three phases, and we have discussed about the three isothermal reactions that takes place, and we discussed about the solubility of carbon, how the solubility of the carbon is changing with respect to change in the temperature in this video session. Then we will discuss about the different phases and the presence of and the change in and the variation in the mechanical properties with respect to change in the phases and the microstructures in the next coming video session. Thank you.